Hello and welcome to this review and tutorial of the Train Simulator Classic Add-on Berlin Ringbahn. This is the circle line that surrounds Berlin city center to connect all the people living in different areas in one circle. So this consists of 27 stations we will all have here, and approximately a drive of 1 hour. In addition, we get the train we have seen departing and already standing on the left hand side too to drive this line. This is the newest model series for the S-Bahn Berlin. Okay, this is what we get. A big important note. This is not the final version. So right now, this consists of only 24 stations out of the 27. Also, some little bug fixes need to be made and some final track fixes too. Okay? But why am I presenting it to you now? Therefore, coming to the price. Right now, it costs 29 euros and 95 cents. This is the price for the unfinished version, okay? So I'm presenting it to you now because we are really close to the final version, so you can get a realistic impression of what it will be. So you can take, if you want to, the decision now to buy it or not. And if you buy it now, you can buy it for the cheaper price and save the money as if you would wait until the final version is released and you will pay a lot more money. So this is why we do it now. And coming to the price, 29 euros, or let's say 30 euros, around $30, is much for a digital add-on like that. But on the one hand, we get a full track, as I said, and a completely new train for the train simulator. Also, the important thing I want to mention here is that this is something that is not built by a big studio or publisher. It is built by people. They do it, they have done it in their spare time. Sit down in their spare time, doing it as hobby. And the special word here is doing it with passion. They love the S-Bahn, they love the history, how it is and how it will be. And therefore they want to keep this in the train simulator to make it possible for people like me and you to drive this and get the experience sitting behind the cockpit, in the driver's cabin of the S-Bahn in Berlin. Get the experience and see what the beauty of Berlin is about. And therefore, it's not about the money, it's not about time efficiency to have as less work hours as possible and stay as cheap but still expensive as possible. It's about the detail, it's about the love for the detail. So I will show you in this video a lot the details and the things that are made here to make it as realistic as possible. And therefore that this is made by people with passion, not on a commercial primary use. Of course there's a business behind it, of course it is sold, yeah. But I think it's a really fair price compared to things, and even though that we are in an inflation right now, I think this price is pretty okay. And now it's even the cheap price for 30 euros. Okay, this is about that. But then let us start with the train. The train we get is a model series 483 and 484. Shortly, the difference between 483 and 484 is that the 483 is a quarter train. This means we have 3 quarter trains here. Why is this a quarter train? You may say now, these are 2 parts, these are 2 parts, these are 2 parts. Why is this a quarter? Simply, the measurement is a full train. This station makes it good to see because a full train would fill the whole platform from the end to the beginning. So if we add another quarter train here, another 483, we would have a full train. And now you understand that one train is one quarter train because 4 of them are one full train. So what is the 484 now? The 484 now is this train, but it's a half train. So instead of being connected here, this train is like this here, put 2. So you have a completely connected half train. So 2 half trains would be 1 full train. This is the 484. Okay, so it's made up to have a variance of trains. So you can exchange them at the capacity you need right now. It's an efficient system, so you can change them over the days, and it's easily to put it. So right now we just have the 483, and this train is in a 3/4 train today. I'm sorry that I don't have the 484, but you see it's exactly the same train, just as in a different length. And now coming to the details I've already spoken about. When you look at this train, you see that this is clearly into the last angle a lot of detail. I have to say, I'm from Berlin, but I'm not a train driver. I'm not daily drive this train, and it's still new for me. But from this, what I've already saw, I would say that this, for me personally, is a really accurate model of this new train, and I really, really like it. Might don't really love the train because I'm more into the old ones, but just comparing the facts of how it looks for me and how it looks here in the game, it's a really 10 out of 10. Okay, so you see the details when I talk about it. When you look at the writing, the numbers, the letters, you see how clear they are even when I go this close. And the lights, look at the lights. Look how detailed they are shaped. Yeah, like close to the real life, and the Deutsche Bahn logo and the scratches here from the daily usage. You see the electronic signs here, and here this notes for the wheels. You see, and this little Easter egg, the logo of the train team Berlin is the publisher of this add-on. Also involved is virtual tracks as the track builder. Okay, so you see what I mean, and it's not 2D. It's like three-dimensional build. You see, even the roof, it's three-dimensional here. So this is what makes this really, really, really nice. And even the doors, you see, they have a three-dimensional shape. Yeah, this is something you not often have. Yeah, of course, the times are moving on, so trains also for Train Simulator get generally better. But this is something I've in that detail not a lot see often because it's three-dimensional, and because of this look, it gets really, really, really realistic and nice for the viewer to view this train. Okay, so this is what it makes for me. At least the train is for me worth at least 20 euros, I would say, because when I compare it to the 481, maybe we can do a video about too. Let me know if you want it. It's even more like a more detailed variant. I wish that the 481 would be the same detail like this in the auto design too. Okay, good. Now we're getting into the train, and it's time for the tutorial how to drive this train first. Okay, later on we get to the map. This is what we have in the train. This is how this looks from the upside. We have a different perspective here. This is from the back. Sadly, the doors cannot be opened. Maybe they will fix it in the final version so you can actually open the doors. This door, I think it will not be openable, but these doors, like for example in the other model, they can be opened by a button. So it would be nice if this would be too, but I don't know if it will be that way. So let's sit down and go to the start of the train. We actually have two options. One option, this is for the fast people under you. You can just press Z to go into the auto fast start. This is not realistic, but for the simulator, for people who just want to drive fast and don't want to remind any buttons, just press Z on your keyboard and the train will automatically start and run through all its procedures, and in a few seconds you will be able to drive the train. This is the one opportunity. The second opportunity is to do it the more realistic way. Of course, it's still just pressing buttons on my keyboard, but it's the order like in the real life. So I will do it now. First, we press B to start the electronics. Yeah. Then I press K to start the technique. So now you hear that there was a sound check of the system to show me that it is able to speak, like to have the proof as a train driver that I can rely on the system if something happens. Yeah, it's a pretty nice effect, and it gives you the feeling, oh, I'm sitting in a simulator that is realistic. Okay, so that was the second step, and then last but not least, the third step, Control and Z. So it's not just Z, Control and Z. Yeah. So we press this button and then the train should be activated. We see it because the lights here are lighting now. Okay, so now we have to tell the train in which direction we want to drive. Therefore, we have this little lever here, or let's say lever button. It's called Fahrtrichtung. It's the direction of travel. Therefore, we use, this is also a step you have to do when you just press step, of course, yeah, because now the train is started. So now it's getting into the detail. You either press S for going backwards or W for going forwards. Because we want to go forward, of course, we press W and you see it's going forward. And I guess I pressed K too long. You should watch out because it's too silent. Actually, there's a sound when I do it. You see? So I press K again. You see? Yeah. This yellow one has to be upward. It's a mistake I sometimes do, that I press the K button too long and then it's already shut down again. So now, because I did K wrong, I press Ctrl Z again to be sure, and then I press W again, and now we heard it click. You see the click. And now we click also here on the green button. We have the blinking here, so the brakes are down. And now we're actually ready for travel. And the sign that we are is that now the headlights are on. Yellow light, so more white light into the front. Okay, but you see what is missing. We need a direction, we need a destination. This usually would be have done here. Right now, and I said, it's not the final version. It's not working, but actually it would be done here. I assume, I don't know, I assume that they will work on that because on the other model they already published of the older train, it is working. So I assume it will be working for here. You enter something like a code and then you get the destination and also what they promise, announcements. And it seems like there will be original announcement. Now imagine you're paying just €29 for also getting original announcement. I can't promise you anything, but this is what I guess it will be. Yeah. So I mean there are some just sideways. Yeah, there are add-ons you pay like €20 just for the announcements for some extra pack. Okay. So that's why I say it's a good deal actually. So this would actually be here, but it isn't. So right now we are doing it the other way around. We either press 0 or semicolon. Yeah. So two buttons right side from 0 on your upper numpad. So you press 0 to go downwards. You see from S47 downwards, or please do not enter. But we go the other direction. We want to have the S41 ring. So it's the circle line. You see the arrow making the circle. S41 goes in this direction, S42 would be the other direction. So now our train is settled to actually start. So it's time to get up passengers, right? So therefore we have the Türsteuerung, so the doors control, okay? So we have, this button is not working. You have to see in Train Simulator, they have to reduce the function because of the simulator. It's not because of the publishers. They have to, it's not possible to do it otherwise. So you have the three buttons working. You have Tür links, Tür rechts, und Tür schließen. So this is door left hand side, door right hand side, and close the doors. So you can either press the buttons here now, or you use your keyboard. This is the button P. This is the button U. So it's like U with the dots, U, the German U. Or you press for the right hand doors to open the star button. On the English keyboard, I assume, I don't give 100% promise, but I assume this is the opening curly bracket and this is the closing curly bracket. Okay? So when we want to open the door's left hand side now, we press the button P. And you see what happened? The doors open. And here, again, talking about detail and passion, you see that the doors open delayed. So the publishers, the developers decided, usually the original function of the doors is that the doors just like green, they're still closed, and then you press the button. This is not possible in Train Simulator because it's not able to program things like that. So they decided we wanted to get it as close as possible to that. So we try to open the doors a bit delayed, so it seems like people are actually pressing the button a bit delayed. Also, the sound you hear now, yeah, you hear it now. this sound is realistic. I know it is in the real life. It's something maybe some other designers would have left out. It's just a weird sound when the doors are open. But I don't know it for safe, but I assume it's a sound for people who don't see that good, or maybe not see, to know that the doors are open and find the doors. Yeah. Also, you have here, you see it here, this little ramp for the wheelchair department in the train. It's also in the end. You see, here's it too. So the detail is not stopping. Everywhere you have a wheelchair, you have this apartment and this ramp. I mean, so you see this detail, yeah. And even now, when we close the doors, you will see the same. An important thing about the doors too is, like, don't think you're broke when you press P and you immediately press U, or the opening curly bracket, the key on your keyboard. The doors will not immediately close because Train Simulator has a normal integrated buffer, let's say about 10 seconds to 15 seconds. You need to wait until it works. So don't worry, you can press it as often as you want, nothing will happen, but after 10 to 15 seconds, the doors will close and the button will work, okay? So you have to wait. Now it's really fitting, so I press U to close the doors. And you see even here a little delay to make the sound interesting and realistic for the driver. So now we're actually ready to drive. What do we need to know to drive? Driven is this train by this lever. We have A to move this lever forward, and we have B to move this lever backward, okay? So A is giving power, and we will see that this arrow will rise, and we get the blue line here, and giving back is giving out the power, taking out the power, and also giving into the brakes, power into the brakes, and then it's red. Now the brakes are on, so you see it by the red power. So now when I put the lever forward, you will see that we are increasing our power and we start driving. You see, we are moving. You hear the sound.
Siefer.
And you hear also another familiar sound. You will hear a lot now. This is the siefer. This is when this sound comes, I have to press space. You hear the click. This is when I press space on my keyboard. I have to press space to show the train that I'm still there, that I'm still driving the train. So every time this lamp lights up, or he's like calling me siefer, Sicherheitsfahrschaltung means security system button or whatever. So I need to press the button to show him that I'm still there. And this is common in almost, I guess, every European country, to have something like this, because it's for safety. Wouldn't I press the button, and it's also the same when I not press the button, he will immediately start an emergency brake that will break the train down because he's assuming that I'm maybe not there anymore and nobody is controlling the train. So the train has to be safe as soon as possible. Okay, so this is what he is doing now. Now we are arriving at the next station.
Siefer.
I press Siefer again. He wants what he wants. I'm trying to take a good stop. You see, I can go down. When I go the farthest down, I make emergency brake. You see? Now I make emergency brake. This is what you shouldn't do. So you can do it, of course, it's working, you see, but this is very bad for the passengers. So now I have to go to 0, and then he's releasing this emergency brake. So it's a very unpleasant thing to do for you and your passengers, to try to avoid to go on the highest level, yeah? So now we're going to open the doors again with P. You see the nice sound, all is fine. So I also could have pressed this button now to open the door. Yeah, you see, it's working. Now they're already open, so we will not hear anything. What I want to show you now, while we are waiting until we can close the doors again, if you don't want to have secret, it's now a little secret tip. Yeah, you can do the secret tip. It's officially you shouldn't do, because you want to drive realistic, right? You want to drive safe, yeah. But you can turn around here, and then you have this little here, this Störschalter Siefer. This means emergency, yeah, like something is wrong. So you can take off the Siefer. Important here, you have to stand still. You cannot do it while driving, it will not work. You have to stand still, and you get the messenger Siefer deactivated. So now the Siefer is off. Now I don't have to press the Siefer, and he will not remind me of the Siefer. You see? Why is it important? Let's first do close the doors. You see here. Now I'm pressing the button inwards, and we will hear the doors are closing. And it's working also when I just sit here, pressing with my mouse the buttons. You hear the sound? It has a little delay of 2 seconds until it happens, but now the doors are closed, you see? All fine. And now, because I deactivated the zephyr, I can easily drive from outside by putting A up, because the train is driving now. You see, when I put A up, we're driving, because I don't have to pay attention to the zephyr. So in this simulator, it has a little advantage, because now I can easily drive from the outside. You see, there's the original train. I can enjoy the view and the AI surrounding me, because I don't have to press the zephyr. When I otherwise, during the zephyr, go outward, I won't hear the remember to press the zephyr. I will not press the zephyr, and then I will realize, oh, the train is making an emergency brake, and the feeling of a good game is gone, because I ruined it, you know? So now I can easily chill outside and watch with you. That's why I've done it, otherwise I would never do this. I've done it to watch with you driving on this map. And now we can talk a bit about the map and the general performance for this add-on. So you see here an older, like the 481 is coming again. I've talked about how this is also an add-on. The AI is for free, it's included of course, but you can also buy it and you can drive it also here too. Now we should brake first, because we're arriving at the next station. Next stop is Frankfurter Allee. So we will take a good brake. You see, I'm trying to brake, going not too far. I'm still in the learning process. For me, it's a new train too. So we're trying to brake as slow, as smooth as possible, yeah? To give the passengers a good feeling of a good ride and a pleasant journey, so they are happy, right? That's what we want. So now I brake here. Before I open the doors, I want to come to one point. First, the interior. We see this is something special here that has also never been before for me. I don't know, maybe there is a train and I just don't know it. But this is for me the first train where the inner display shows the same like the outer display. So we have here S41 wing, and at the inner display, I guess this is a IC. Yeah, we have an Intercity Express. You see the AI, this is also something I really like. The AI traffic is continuously going, okay? So you have the feeling of being in a living world. It's the free gameplay, it's no scenario, free gameplay, and I love it. So we have here the S41 for wing here, and indoor we have the same, right? You see, okay? And the great thing here is, when I change it now, S41 Gesundbrunnen, S41 Beuselstraße, S41 Westend, the inner screen changes with me. So when I go back now, you will see Halensee, Westend, Beuselstraße, Gesundbrunnen, Ring. You see, it changes with that, and that makes the feeling of the inner side so pleasant and so nice. But now the one thing that destroys for me that nice thing, I would rather don't have this thing than to have what I don't have now, because of this maybe. The thing is, when I open the doors with P now, I do it. You see what is happening? The doors in the inner view is not opening. So this is the biggest thing and the only thing actually I have as critique on this thing, on this train, that the door isn't open. Because maybe you know my videos, otherwise you should watch them, my S-Bahn videos of Berlin. For on the other model, it's so that I can be in here. I'm doing videos without any comments, so you can enjoy the feeling of driving S-Bahn in a simulator, of course. So the doors open, but when they're not open, how should you think this is realistic? When I open the doors and the doors are not open, and from the outer side they are open. You see what I mean? And this is really, really sad actually. This is all worthless in my opinion, when the doors are not open. I mean, you know what I mean? Because then I cannot shoot any scene here in the station, because it would not be realistic. But coming to the rest of the interior, you see it's pretty well made therefore, yeah? You see the clear texture of the seats, yeah, of the windows, and also this screen. This screen is not working yet. Maybe they will do it the same like here, so that the screen changes with the changing direction to show some example stations. And we have also the Easter egg here about this 481. This is the add-on for this train to drive it. and the S25 in a historical way to drive it to, also from train team Berlin. So this is what we have. This is the only negative thing, but in all the positive things, it hasn't that much weight. And I will not state it finally as a negative thing until the final version is there, because maybe they will fix it too, and then I'm in love with this train. Okay, so definitely there will be video from me about the Ringbahn. So now we go into the cockpit, press this button, and we will see it works. Now the doors are closing again. Okay, so you see it's really worth it. Okay, and now we take an outer view without the seat starting again the train to drive, you see. And we also have a horn. Let me hear it for you. It's a bit, I think it's a bit lagging. Maybe it's just in my earpods now, but I think it's a loud sound, so it's always a little trigger for the game also. So now we departed, and now we come to the second thing I want to share with you. This is something you just have here. Like like when I talk about passion, building a whole building to make the station of Frankfurter Allee as realistic as possible, if you know what I mean. Something to show the people that you build realistic. The same here. When it's close to the track, you have as much detail as possible. You have trees, you can almost see the leaves here, right? And then to save the performance when it's more far away, you have the trees that are like just two-dimensional and crossed over. Why do they do it? They do it to increase the performance. I'm playing, and this is something important maybe now for you. I'm playing on a PC that is 3 to 4 years old and already has some little issues. And I'm making a recording, and this game is really working fluently without, like, maybe I don't have 60 FPS. Okay, yeah. But I mean, for this quality and this new material and this detail on the train and on the track, this is really well made. Yeah, you see what I mean? Okay, now we're getting to our final destination for today. Let's say there will the video end. The last thing I want to show you, and this is, I think, the biggest special you can see what I mean when I talk about passion, is the station Ostkreuz. Ostkreuz is the station that is connecting, as it says, in the east side of Berlin, the Ring line, so the circle line, the Ringbahn, with the city lines coming out of the city center, yeah, above the city, not the tunnel lines, the city that go above. I will show you soon. And this is something really special. You already see the nice hall. I press P to open the doors as we used to it, and you see what I want to show you. We already saw it at Frankfurter Allee, but I didn't go in more detail to that. You see that this is a sign we never had before in Train Simulator. This is the new digital sign of, I guess so, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess so, of the Ringbahn, or let's say the S-Bahn Berlin, to show the trains, yeah. So they made it up. They could have used, like here, even this is something that looks actually pretty nice and overworked, but like this is the old one, like the really simple digital one. They could just use it here. But why should they? Because it's not realistic, and they want to keep especially the stations as realistic as possible. So they look that they, on the stand of 2022, that's where the map is situated, to find the digital displays that are fitting that, and to actually do them, and also to look that always what is standing here is completely white. So the next station is Treptower Park, then we have Neukölln, Tempelhof, and the main station Südkreuz, Schöneberg, Hallensee, Westkreuz. So it's always changing. It's not the same display all stations. It's always changing where we are in the right direction, and it's showing where we are. Also, this one is correct. The same thing here. You have this track here. Here's the some regional trains going here. And you have the RE25. I think it's more like a RB, but it's to Verneuchen on track 7. And this is totally true. On this track, it's the RB25 to Verneuchen. So it's realistic. The same here. And this is what I told you before. We have here the S-Bahn tracks. So they really made up a sign for the S-Bahn tracks. S3, S7, S75. Spandau, Potsdam, Warschauer Straße. And this is realistic because they are driving here. And the whole building of Ostkreuz is made up to be as realistic as possible. A whole new building made up, and even the detail when we're just actually our trains that we can possibly drive and the whole add-on are just passing by here. And they made up the effort to put all this in the detail, and especially what I want to show you, these bridges. We never will drive above these bridges in this add-on because these bridges are made for the S9 going from here into the city center, also to Spandau coming from the airport. So no, except for AI, no one will, like no player will drive over these bridges until maybe they extend the map or whatever. But right now, no one. So actually these bridges are needing less. The only second you will see the bridges is when you come from that direction, driving here, and you recently, like randomly look over here, you will see the bridges. But they decided to do it. And this is what I mean with the love for the detail and even the roof and all that little stuff and all the little signs, yeah? So this is what I mean when I say all these details. I also hear the signs that they are correct. That you have the signs that guide you. There could be random signs. There's so much objects that would maybe look similar. They could just reuse, but they decided to do it new. And this is what I mean when I talk about it. And I also want you to show, if we can fly back to Frankfurter Allee again. I want to show you this. This is also something new. We just have here the new. This is the newest signs of the S-Bahn Berlin. They also integrated them. They could have used the old ones we've seen before, but they used the new one. And you see here what we have. The S41 Ring. Okay, maybe this, I don't know if this is correct. But the Ostkreuz, you know, now we are at Ostkreuz. So one station ahead, you can see that this train goes over Ostkreuz. So you see how much detail I am, and also the bench. I never seen, maybe correct me, but a bench that is detailed like that. This bench is just built for Frankfurter Allee, and this sign too. You can see it clearly, because this is saying Frankfurter Allee, Möllendorfstraße. This is something you cannot reuse at any other station. So this is what I mean talking about detail. And here we also have this, what I said before, the detail trains close to the track, and as soon as we go far from the track, we use the better performance lower tracks, trees. What will not ever, we will never see this in detail, but we will feel it in a better performance, and this is what makes this game so enjoyable. And this is coming to my conclusion now. This is why I would recommend this add-on for the train simulator. I would recommend to invest this 29 euros now to have it and to play it. When you don't like it, of course, you don't have to. But I think when you want to drive the S-Bahn Berlin, yeah, the Ringbahn, maybe for the track, or you want to have the modern feeling of how the S-Bahn Berlin will be like, I would say like the next 20 to 25 years, you should buy this add-on to feel it. If you want to feel how it was the last 20 years, you can buy the 481. Maybe we can make a review and tutorial to that too. Let me know if you want to know, have something like this, or you should buy the S25. But this is if you like are up for new things and you like modern trains. This is what you need when you want to drive through Berlin and have a modern atmosphere and the modern trains of Germany. Okay, so I'm closing the doors now. We might hear it. Yeah, we hear it from the distance. I close the doors and let the train departure now, so we can watch him getting away from us. You see, now it's getting into move. And I thank you for watching. Let me their feedback. Ask questions in the commentaries. I have a Discord. Feel free to join the Discord if you want to. Give a comment, give a like, maybe subscribe. How you ever feel. Maybe I'll do more of this. Let me know when it was helpful for you. And all you find in the video description, in the first place, I put you the link for this add-on on the webpage of Train Team Berlin, so you can download it here. And down below, I put you the Steam link for the Train Simulator Classic if you don't have it. It's of course a bigger consideration if you should buy an add-on for 55 euros in total. When you add the Train Simulator Classic and the 29 euros, you already need to pay firsthand when you don't have the Train Simulator yet. Maybe it's not worth it. You will decide on your own. I thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a nice day, evening, whatever you have now, and I say a lovely goodbye for today.